In the headlines for this hour on VTV News, National Assembly Deputy discuss amendments to law on pharmacy. And Prime Minister meets Chinese party and state leaders. In a one new, Brics to pulse new admissions focus on integrating newcomers.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. At the plenary session on the afternoon of June 26, National Assembly Deputy discussed the amendments to law on pharmacy. More detail in the following story.
Some National Assembly deputies suggested that there should be policies to promote the potential and advantages of the traditional medicine, medicinal materials, and domestic pharmaceutical enterprises.
We must promote research linked to market needs. Third, scientists need to work with enterprises to research and develop new Vietnamese products. Technology transfer franchise products need investments from the early stage to the final product for commercialization.
Currently, there are about 200 factories meeting good manufacturing practice, GMP, standards, but most are FD enterprises. Based on this fact, I suggest that the drafting agency consider including it in the law and ensuring the development of the domestic pharmaceutical industry, while ensuring the pharmaceutical industry to develop in the right direction of the national strategy in the period 2030 to 2050.
Some National Assembly deputies suggested that there should be a more effective management mechanism in the purchase and sale of drugs, as well as more specific regulations on drug trading activities in the electronic environment. The addition of regulations on the promulgation of the list of drugs covered by health insurance is also one of the issues that voters are particularly interested in.
The delay in promulgating and updating the list of drugs covered by health insurance will affect the opportunity to access new and advanced treatment methods. It will also affect the rights and legitimate interests of the people, especially those in difficult circumstances who only rely on health insurance for medical examination and treatment.
National Assembly deputies also discussed salary reform, adjusting pensions, social insurance benefits, preferential benefits for people with meritorious services, and social benefits from July the 1st.
Receiving Indian Ambassador Sandeep Arya on Wednesday, State President Tolom gave his regards to Indian President Draupadi Murmu and congratulated India on successfully organizing the 18th House of Representatives election. The Vietnamese leader expressed his belief that under the leadership of the current government, India will continue to develop strongly, gaining new roles and positions in the regional and international arena. Emphasizing that the two countries have a strong traditional friendship, the state president asked the Indian ambassador to deepen cooperation between the two countries across all fields. Believing that the two countries will soon reach a trade turnover of $20 billion, the state president welcomed large Indian corporations to invest in Vietnam in oil and gas, infrastructure, seaport, and emerging fields such as digital transformation, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, and clean energy. Indian Ambassador Sandeep Arya conveyed the congratulations of the Indian leaders to the state president, saying that he will strive to promote deeper cooperation between the two countries in the coming time. Prime Minister Phie met with General Secretary of the Communist Party of China and President of China Xi Jinping on June 26 as part of his trip to the neighboring country for the 15th World Economic Forum (WEF) annual meeting of the new champions and working sessions.
Prime Minister Phie reaffirmed that the development of a stable and long-term relationship with China is a long-term, consistent, and top priority of Vietnam's foreign policy. He suggested that the two sides cooperate in speeding up the connection of transport infrastructure, especially in connecting railways, roads, and border gates. Vietnam welcomes China to increase high-quality investment in Vietnam. He also suggested that China create supportive conditions for Vietnam's key products such as frozen durian, fresh coconut, and rice, which could facilitate access for Vietnamese goods to Central Asia and Europe via China. The Prime Minister said that Vietnam supports China's application to join the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, or CPTPP, and suggested that the two sides maintain discussions on this matter. Expressing appreciation for the cooperation proposals of Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính, General Secretary and President Xi Jinping affirmed that China supports Vietnam in accelerating the country's industrialization and modernization, and its contribution to stable and sustainable supply and production chains in the region and the world. He stated that the Chinese government encourages businesses to increase investment in Vietnam, especially in high-tech and emerging industries. Discussing international and regional issues of mutual concern, the two sides agreed to control and properly handle disagreements and maintain peace and stability at sea, respect each other's legitimate interests in accordance with international law, including UNCLOS 1982.
Also on the same day, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính met with Wang Huning, chairman of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conference at the Great Hall of the People in Beijing, China. The two sides agreed that after the historic visit of General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng to China and General Secretary and President of China Xi Jinping to Vietnam, the Vietnam-China Comprehensive Strategic Cooperative Partnership has maintained a positive development momentum and made historic progress. The Prime Minister expressed that Vietnam has always remembered China's great and valuable support and assistance in the past struggle for national independence and in the country's development today. He affirmed that consolidating and developing the historic friendship and comprehensive cooperation with China is an objective requirement, a strategic choice, and a top priority in Vietnam's foreign policies. Having appreciated and completely agreed with the Vietnamese Prime Minister, the chairman of the Chinese People Political Consultative Conference emphasized that China always considered relations with Vietnam a priority in its neighborhood foreign policy. The Chinese official affirmed that he will encourage Chinese authorities at all levels to strengthen exchanges and coordination with the Vietnam Fatherland Front, thoroughly understanding and implementing the shared high-level agreement. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính chaired a panel discussion with Professor Klaus Schwab, World Economic Forum chairman. He also met with 20 representatives of big multinational corporations at WEF in Dalian, China on June 26.
Thanking Professor Schwab and other investors for their assessments, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính emphasized that in the current context, Vietnam continues to prioritize growth and at the same time is taking measures to control inflation, stabilize the macroeconomy, and ensure major balances of the economy. Vietnam is also focusing on promoting 3 strategic breakthroughs in institutions, infrastructure, and human resources. For investors, the Prime Minister said that the government will soon issue a decree related to the implementation of global minimum tax mechanisms and will have investment incentive policies suitable to Vietnam's conditions and world trends. Vietnam has positioned itself to selectively attract investment, prioritizing projects in emerging, high-tech, high-value-added fields, promoting digital transformation, green transformation, renewable energy, and developing new breakthrough in strategic industries and fields such as semiconductors and artificial intelligence. The Prime Minister affirmed that Vietnam will not lack electricity under any circumstances and has had synchronous and comprehensive solutions for power sources, power transmission, distribution, and electricity prices. One such solution includes the 500 kV Line 3 project that is about to be completed after only 6 months of construction. The Prime Minister suggested that the WEF and its partners cooperate more closely with Vietnam in consulting, giving opinions on building and planning appropriate and effective policies, and creating conditions for Vietnam to participate in WEF's initiatives and ecosystems. He also hopes the WEF can act as a bridge to support and encourage businesses to seek opportunities and invest and contribute to the rapid and sustainable development of Vietnam.
Prime Minister Phie had a meeting with Professor Klaus Schwab, founders and executive chairman of the World Economic Forum, on the sideline of the 15th WEF Annual Meeting of New Champions 2024 in China. Stressing the success of the Dalian meeting, the Vietnamese leader said its theme, Next Frontiers for Growth, has inspired countries and businesses to pursue innovations and collaborate to build the global economy in the future. Professor Klaus Schwab expressed his admiration for the Prime Minister's message delivered at the plenary session, noting the WEF and its member groups highly value Vietnam's prospect, investment environment, and economic achievement. He described the Southeast Asian nation as a model of economic growth and the utilization of opportunities generated by the Fourth Industrial Revolution. The two sides proudly note the significant developments in cooperation between Vietnam and the WEF over recent years, particularly the signing of the 2023-2026 Memorandum of Understanding at the 14th WEF Annual Meeting of the New Champions in China, Tianjin, last year. Minister of Planning and Investment Nguyễn Chí Dũng and U.S. Under-Secretary of State Joe Hernandez co-chaired the first Vietnam-U.S. Economic Dialogue in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday. At the dialogue, the two sides sought specific measures to further bilateral partnership in 5 key areas, namely semiconductors, technology, ecosystem building, energy and key minerals, business environment, high-quality investment attractions, and strategic export control, and key information technology infrastructure and network security. The dialogue created a basis to expand cooperation between the two countries in other fields. They agreed to hold the second Vietnam-U.S. Economic Dialogue in Hanoi in 2025. The fruit and vegetable sector will achieve a turnover of over $7 billion this year. In the first half of the year, the sector earned $3.4 billion in export turnover, thanks to the high market demands and opportunities provided by signed protocols. It secured abundant business orders for the second half of 2024.
This company is signing high-value contracts in new markets along with increasing orders from existing customers.
We've exported longan to Canada and Australia. Recently, a batch of lychees exported to Thailand has also accessed the country's large shopping malls. More new markets are also showing interest in Vietnamese products.
Many businesses are fully booked with orders thanks to the rising demand for deeply processed products.
We expect to export about $45 million for the whole year. We are excited to sign orders until the end of 2024. Our main markets are the US and Europe.
Based on the exporting activities in the first 6 months, the Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association assessed that the sector is brimming with confidence about the coming months thanks to higher output of the main fruit crops, orders from Asian customers, and opportunities from signed contracts.
The export turnover can exceed $7 billion for sure. Based on the current agreements between Vietnam and China, the total turnover could even smash more records.
Currently, businesses are closely cooperating with growing regions to improve the quality of agricultural products and enhance sustainable exports. At the same time, they are planning to transport goods by air and work closely with rail freight service providers amid surging global container freight fees.
Coming up next on VTV News, look at lychee growers strive to change cultivation structure. And young Vietnamese woman honors for environmental protection.
When it comes to business, it's crucial to choose a smart location with global impact. And Vietnam might just be the location for you. connect worldwide to advanced logistics networks. Smart Hub for technology and innovation. A dynamic business ecosystem. An environment with a competitive edge.
The northern region, including Thanh Hóa and Nghệ An, on Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, continue to experience widespread thunderstorms, with some areas experiencing heavy downpours. This rainy period is forecasted to persist until the end of Wednesday. In the past 13 hours, the heaviest rainfall was recorded in Điện Biên, Phú Thọ, Thanh Hóa, Hòa Bình, Yên Bái, ranging from 93 to 116 millimeters. In Trấn Yên District, in Bai Province, some locations recorded up to 252 millimeters of rainfall. Wednesday's forecast indicates a scattered thunderstorm in the northern region, Thanh Hóa and Nghệ An, with rainfall ranging from 15 to 30 millimeters and localized heavy rainfall exceeding 80 millimeters. The heavy rain may trigger flash floods in rivers and streams and cause landslide on steep hillsides. Offshore, there are warnings of tornadoes and strong gusts reaching level 6 to 7 during thunderstorm in the Gulf of Tonkin, coastal area from Bình Định to Cà Mau, Kiên Giang, and the north and central regions of the East Sea, including the Hoàng Sa Island District. With the theme of construction materials, real estate, and interior and exterior decoration, the second Vietbuild Ho Chi Minh City International Exhibition 2024 was officially opened on Wednesday in Ho Chi Minh City. The exhibition has a scale of nearly 2,000 booths with more than 400 businesses with new products and advanced technology, with many famous brands from various countries displaying and introducing diverse products for the construction industry, industrial machinery and equipment, and interior and exterior decoration. The products displayed at the exhibitions have been created with investment in research with high-level features and quality to meet the needs of construction and decoration associated with sustainable development, environmental protection, and modernity. The exhibition will continue until June 30th. Due to bad weather this year, Lục Ngạn district in Bắc Giang province expect fresh lychee productions to plummet by 60 to 70% compared to 2023, reaching only 53,000 tons. The productivity is mainly from early ripening lychee varieties that fetch high selling prices. Therefore, the district is promoting crop restructuring, urging farmers to focus on early ripening lychees. More to follow.
According to Lục Ngạn residents, this year temperatures are 0.5 to 1.5 degrees Celsius higher than the annual average, making it difficult for lychees to fruit. Heavy rains cause unripe fruit to rot and fall, leading to a sharp drop in production. Meanwhile, gardens growing unripening lychees have high fruiting rates. Thai's family finished harvesting and selling their produce in early June.
Before, my family mainly grew main-season lychees, but the efficiency was slow, so we switched to early ripening lychees. Early lychees set at a better price.
This year, despite unfavorable climatic conditions, the area of early ripening lychees reached more than 70% of fruit production. Prices have doubled and even tripled compared to last year.
All 4,000 hectares of early ripening lychees in the district has been harvested, totaling 24,300 tons. Meanwhile, with an area 3 times larger, the main lychee harvested expected to be only around 30,000 tons. Early lychee varieties are less affected by climatic conditions. Therefore, production in 2024 is less affected.
We recommend farmers convert part of the main crop area to early lychee variety. This variety of lychee brings higher sale prices and income to farmers.
Since 2021, Lục Ngạn has doubled the area dedicated to early ripening lychees from 2,000 to 4,000 hectares. The region plans to expand the cultivation of early ripening lychees further to enhance economic efficiency for lychee farmers.
The Xanh Vietnam or Green Vietnam community is currently promoting the message, "It's not my garbage, but it's my planet." It aims to propel Vietnam into the top 5 country with the least plastic waste and to be the cleanest and most beautiful country in Southeast Asia by 2025. Established 5 years ago, Xanh Vietnam has conducted numerous trash removal activities.
This girl was honored by the Youth Union Central Committee in 2023 as Young Living Beautifully due to her unique hobby.
60 years ago, I saw children building sandcastles on the beach. However, as I got closer, I realized it was a castle built from trash. At that moment, I felt very sad and I started picking up trash around the beach. I began organizing small-scale activities with just about 10 people.
With only 10 initial members, the Xanh Vietnam community currently has nearly 50,000 volunteers spread across 63 provinces and cities, including nearly 15 islands and archipelagos, and in 10 countries around the world.
Each person, after picking up trash, becomes an ambassador who inspires their family, friends, and spreads the message on social networks. Our members range from 2 years old to nearly 100 years old. We also provide necessary equipment to ensure the safety of all participants.
One of Xanh Vietnam's standout campaigns is the nationwide trash picking initiative, Clean Up Vietnam, which mobilized over 42,000 volunteers to collect more than 200 tons of trash.
On the day of the campaign, despite the very sunny and hot weather, everyone persevered to complete the task. I felt a sense of unity and the wholehearted mutual support among all participants.
There are no restrictions on participation. The uniforms consist simply of shirts featuring the Vietnamese flag. The community is connected online, enabling anyone, anywhere to take part in this meaningful and crucial activity.
Coming up next in our World News, Brics to pulse new emissions, focus on integrating newcomers. And EU launches membership talks with Moldova and Ukraine. The Brics group of emerging economy has decided by majority vote to temporarily halt accepting new members to focus on integrating recent joiners. Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov announced this after hosting the Brics Foreign Minister meeting in Nizhny Novgorod from June 10 to 11th. Previously, the Kremlin stated that approximately 30 countries wished to join Brics, prompting the bloc to establish cooperation mechanisms and Brics Plus dialogue formats to engage with partners outside the bloc. In addition to Russia, Brazil, India, China, and South Africa, Brics currently includes Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, the UAE, and Saudi Arabia. With these new members, Brics currently accounts for about 37% of global GDP in purchasing power parities and 46% of the world's population. The European Union officially launched negotiations with Ukraine and Moldova on membership issues on Tuesday. This marked the first step in the long process of these two countries potentially becoming EU members. Negotiators will initially review the laws of both candidate countries to assess their compatibility with EU law, with phase known as screening typically lasts 1 or 2 years before subsequent steps can proceed. Analysts suggest that negotiations in Luxembourg signify the start of a lengthy reform process fraught with political and economic challenges that could span many years. Candidate countries require approval from all 27 EU members to initiate and conclude each stage of negotiations. China Ministry of Public Security has issued a warning about the country's 10 most common online and telecommunication fraud tactics, which accounted for more than 88% of recorded fraud cases last year. The most prevalent tactic involves online sellers creating fake orders to inflate product rating on e-commerce platforms. They also employ devices to generate fake reviews, comments, and views, boosting product ratings to attract more users. Additionally, scammers intake students and low-income individuals with promises of easy online jobs, only to later demand payments from them. More than 60% of the telecom fraud victims in 2023 were aged between 18 and 40. About a third of the total victims that year were aged 41 to 65. Authorities will also highlight criminal cases to educate members of the public so that they can avoid becoming the tools and accomplices of scammers. A new report from the World Health Organization (WHO) revealed that 2.6 million deaths per year were attributable to alcohol consumption, accounting for 4.7% of all deaths, and 600,000 deaths can be attributed to psychoactive drug use. The report concludes with the board directions for international actions to accelerate progress towards achievement of SDG Health Target 3.5.
The Global Status Report on Alcohol and Health and Treatment of Substance Use Disorders presents a comprehensive overview of alcohol consumption, alcohol-related harm, and policy responses, as well as treatment capacities for alcohol and drug use disorders worldwide.
We can definitely say that there is no risk-free alcohol consumption because there are many health conditions which can be worsened or can be developed because of alcohol consumption, including development of alcohol dependence, and the risks and probability of development of these conditions is very difficult to predict. At the same time, we also can say with confidence that very low levels of consumption, very infrequent use, not necessarily bring harms to individuals.
The report shows an estimated 400 million people live with alcohol and drug use disorders globally. 209 million people live with alcohol dependence.
The alcohol dependence is a disorder, a condition which has very specific diagnostic features and very specific requirements for making such diagnosis. Harmful pattern of use is also can be diagnosed only by health professionals, but in a sense, these are patterns or levels or context of harmful of use, which results in negative health consequences for individuals. But these consequences should be detectable, they should be present.
Based on data collected from countries on the treatment of substance use disorders, the report describes the status of key components of treatment responses to alcohol and drug use disorders. The report also proposes a new service capacity index for these disorders as an additional contextual indicator for monitoring progress in this domain of SDG Health Target 3.5.
And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.